wasn't yours. I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back to who I was before. I like me better, I like me better.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So if you had told me at the beginning of this year that by the end of the year I would be doing a downfall video on Twitter, I would look at you like you're crazy. Like, what are you talking about? That is the only app that hasn't changed and people still like, right? Because YouTube kind of killed itself with the algorithm and choosing who they wanted to push, who they didn't want to push. Instagram killed itself by wanting to be every app but Instagram. Facebook is the app that you go to if you want misinformation, conspiracy theories, and memes that you saw on every other app 2 months ago. And then there's TikTok, which is like the rising app, but there are still a lot of people who are weary about getting on TikTok for a couple different reasons. But Twitter is the one that I've been on there for I don't even know how long at this point. Mind you, I mean, like, as a creator and then back as a middle schooler, high schooler. Using the app just casually. So it's been over a decade, right? And that app has stayed, they never really changed the algorithm. They never really made that many tweaks to it. You continue to use it the same way you always used it, right? They might have done a couple different things, but it stayed true to who it was. And that was until the app was purchased by the richest man in the world, Elon Musk. And I want to say he's only had control of the company for maybe like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And I've never seen such a rapid decline in a company before. That is coming to mind right now. I can't think of one that has been that rapid, because I kid you not, every day you wake up and there is something new that is going on at Twitter, but going wrong at Twitter. And so I had to literally go through, get all the articles so that I can just read because that much has happened in like the 2 or 3 weeks that he's been in control. So if you guys want to know what's going on and why it's really bad, let's go. It was announced that Elon Musk was purchasing Twitter for $44 billion. Like, just think, $44 billion. By the end of this video, I mean, even right now, I feel like you can understand why he is doing everything that he can in the short time that he's been in control to get that money back. But as of right now, it's being reported that Twitter is only worth $8 billion. So you see why there's this sense of urgency to show, like, nah, I know what I'm doing when it comes to business, and I made the right decision purchasing this for the amount that I purchased it for. And the first thing that he decided he was going to do to try to get some of his money back was the whole Twitter Blue subscription thing. Now, I'm pretty sure, I feel like most of the apps have some form of you paying for this app, right? YouTube has YouTube Red. Instagram, you can do subscriptions. You can pay for advertisements, stuff like that. Twitter, really, the most you could do was like maybe sponsor your tweet, and then there were advertisers on the app as well, right? But even before he purchased it, they came out with Twitter Blue, where you could purchase it and it would allow you to edit your tweets. There were some things, but I never really cared because, baby, I wasn't paying for Twitter, okay? But it was something that already existed before he took over, right? But after he took over, he decided one of the ways he was going to try to make his money back was by adding the incentive that if you purchase Twitter Blue, you could purchase that verification badge on your Twitter account. So if you ever heard people talk about blue check marks on Twitter, or even Instagram, when an account is verified, it has that check next to it. Usually those checks go to, celebrities, people in the entertainment, like professionals. So you know that this is, LeBron James who is posting this. This is the official Chipotle account that is posting this, right? But his bright idea was that he was going to charge in Twitter Blue. So, even if I decided to pay for Twitter Blue, I could have a verified check next to my name. Now, just thinking about it, just like as a regular everyday person, why would I want to pay a monthly fee just so I can have a blue check mark next to my name? It makes sense why the people I just listed need to have that verification so that it's that verified account. And again, in this video, we'll get into why those people have those verified checks next to their name. But me being a regular everyday person, why do I need that? I mean, I know social media plays into people's minds when it comes to, feeling like you have to live a certain way and show a certain way and do certain things to really be like that important person. But if you don't fall into those type of things, like why would you do that? It is reported that the directive is to change Twitter Blue, the company's optional $4.99 a month subscription that unlocks additional features, into a more expensive subscription that also verifies users, according to people familiar with the matter and internal correspondence seen by The Verge. Twitter is currently planning to charge $19.99 for the new Twitter Blue subscription. Under the current plan, verified users would have 90 days to subscribe or lose their blue checkmark. So $20 a month so that you can keep your verified badge if you already have one, or $20 a month so you can get one, and now your account will also have a check mark next to your name. As you would imagine, the people who already have check marks were like, why on earth would I want to do that? And I mean, also, let's keep it a buck. Does the whole celebrity influence, has it taken a hit in, like recent years with the rise of social media and stuff like that? Yeah, I mean, you can film videos in your room and blow up overnight, and now you're almost as important and you have almost as much influence as some people who have a blue check mark. But the people with blue check mark, again, like LeBron James, they do still have that type of influence where it's like, they're a good reason why people are using your apps, because people are tuning in, they're following these people. So the blue check mark's like, why would I want to give you money to keep my blue check mark? And I believe it was Stephen King who had called out Elon and was like, why would I want to do this? So all of a sudden, the $20 a month for this Twitter Blue went down to $8, just that quickly. And I was talking about it on Twitter, like, sir, you first of all, you got to make a decision and you got to stand on it, okay? You can't be this wishy-washy, but I mean, again, so the $20 went down to $8 for Twitter Blue, and people were still complaining about it, but Twitter decided that they were going to roll this out, right? So they rolled it out and very quickly realized just why that was not a good idea, because I want to say it's been like, 48 hours, and they already had to stop allowing people to try out this new Twitter Blue thing and buying the badge for $8 and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. But before I tell you why they already had to stop doing that, when people were expressing their concerns with, why it does not make sense to either remove people's blue check marks if they don't pay for it, or charge them to pay for, or charge them to keep their blue check marks, Twitter decided they were going to do something else, right? They were going to try something else so you could sign up for Twitter Blue and have the actual blue check mark. But if you were, like a verified person, a verified author, athlete, musician, stuff like that, you would have official show up on your account. So I'll have what it would look like show up on the screen. So it's two things for that, right? So you would have the check mark and then you would have the official. I want to say they suspended that after like 24 hours. The little official sign, that was gone after like 24 hours. So they decided they were going to continue on with this Twitter Blue thing, and they let it out, right? If I wanted to, I could pay $8 for Twitter Blue and go ahead and have that check mark next to my name. So it's reported that the new Twitter Blue subscriptions were put on pause on Friday, just after the updated program launched on November 9th. Fake accounts were impersonating brands and notable individuals, which certainly did not please the advertisers that remain on the platform. So again, when you allow just anybody to buy a verified badge and whatnot, now I also tweet about this, you need to keep in mind, there are a lot of people out there who are bored, okay? And that's what they love about social media. They can create a whole new personality on there, a whole new person on there, right? The whole idea of catfishing. When you mix people who are bored with, and let's keep it a lot of people don't read, right? I'm not saying a lot of people can't read, a lot of people do not read. When you mix those two together, all you get is chaos, because the people who were bored went ahead, paid a little $8 for the verification badge, and then were impersonating verified people, right? I saw a tweet that, it looked like it had the same profile picture. It said LeBron James. It changed their username to something similar to LeBron James's handle. It had tweeted out, thank you to the Laker Nation for everything that's happened, blah, 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 but I respectfully am requesting my trade from the Lakers. I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw it, I thought, what? But then I looked at it and I realized that's not his actual account, but it has that verified check next to it, right? Now, the tweet that was reporting about it literally says, oh gee, who would have thought that this would have happened? It's not like people didn't warn Twitter. This is what people were going to do, but this is not the actual LeBron James, right? It says right there, this is not the actual LeBron James. I looked at the responses and there were people who were still attacking him, like, of course he's going to do that. All he does is run once he doesn't get his way. Like, people who are still seeing it and thinking the real LeBron James tweeted that, because they see the verified badge, right? They see the name. And like, again, people do not read, people do not investigate before they start to form opinions and before they start to say things. So yeah, allowing this concoction, this mix, was going to create chaos, and it was happening all day. I saw it with the Nintendo account. I saw it with Tesla's own account. I saw some tweet. Again, it said Tesla official. It had the little check mark, and it said something like a second Tesla has just crashed into the World Trade Center. When you mix people who are bored with people who are not going to read, that is what's going to happen. So for reasons like that, and I'll get to another bigger reason later, they did suspend people being able to sign up for Twitter Blue and get that check mark, right? Now you would think, okay, if you did this, even though you were warned all the ways that this could go wrong, at least you hopefully made a profit off of this. It is reported Twitter Blue brought in $488,000 in those 2 days, accounting for the $8 price tag. That's 61,000 new subscribers at most. Now you remember I said this man bought this company for $44 billion, right? So the bright idea that was going to make this company so much revenue, all of that, didn't even bring in $500,000. Now, of course, there are people who are already subscribed to Twitter Blue, but like, this was supposed to be the big thing that like made everyone go rush to go do it. And yeah, so there goes that, right? Now, when he purchased Twitter, he had said, one of the reasons for him doing this is that he wants to bring comedy back and he wants to bring back free speech. If you guys remember, especially with everything that happened with the 2020 elections, child, like, time escapes me at this point, with Biden and Trump and all the misinformation that happened at that time, people getting their accounts suspended for pushing information that was believed to not be true. He was saying, he was going to bring back freedom of speech and you allowing yourself to be funny, blah, 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 until that freedom of speech was directed towards him. So a lot of people who do have these check marks and whatnot started pretty much mocking him, changing their names to his name and his picture as their profile picture, and then, tweeting things that they were getting hundreds of thousands of likes and people were making fun of him. And it's giving very much so, like, bruised ego. He had come out and the whole, Mr. Free Speech, Mr. Bring Back Comedy, all of a sudden, if you, if you're a parody account and you don't acknowledge that you're a parody account, you'll immediately be suspended, right? And he was getting rid of these accounts. They were being suspended, stuff like that. The most noticeable one was Kathy Griffin. She's a comedian. She had changed her name to his name, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, her account was suspended. She even went on her mother, who has passed away. She still has the Twitter account though. She went on her mother's account. It was saying free Kathy Griffin. And it's like, again, the people who you are expecting to pay for this, because again, regular people are, for the most part, are not going to care about paying for Twitter Blue so they can have a verified check, right? You are alienating the people who are the main focus of purchasing the subscription for you. And also, once again, celebrities are still influential, so you are alienating the people who are keeping the laughs on here, keeping people interested in what they're saying, stuff like that, blah, 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 blah. This is not good for you. But you know who else he decided he was going to come in here and alienate? His employees. It was reported that Twitter unceremoniously laid off 3,700 staffers, some 50% of its workforce. So you know what else you gotta do when you gotta make up for spending $44 billion for an app? You gotta lay off just about half of your employees. That makes sense. And that's also going to keep the morale up for the employees who do stay, right? That's going to. But again, remember how I said you need to stand on something once you make a decision? He let them go, and then like a couple days later, people started seeing like LinkedIn, positions, basically saying that they wanted these people to come back to their job. Twitter now asks some fired workers to please come back. Twitter management trying to bring back dozens of workers. Some employees now needed or were laid off by mistake. Okay, not just that, like I said, so you're getting rid of about like half the company and then showing the people who did stay just how much you value them by letting these people off as easily as you did. We're gonna make it even better. It was reported by TMZ in a secret recording of Elon Musk that he basically gave his remote workers the ultimatum that they either come back to the office or they were gonna take that as their like resignation. So basically, you can't work from home anymore. You gotta come back into the office, and he is discussing plans for a 40-hour work week. That is going to keep employees. It sure is. So of course, the public was outraged by that because who wants to hear about a whole bunch of layoffs? And also there had been stuff about, Tesla and him saying that he didn't want Tesla employees working from home either. So he already doesn't have, that good of that image when it comes to how he treats his employees. So it was reported that current and former Twitter employees began a class action lawsuit on Thursday concerning the current wave of high-profile layoffs at Twitter. The suit claims that the embattled social media company is in violation of labor laws, particularly federal and state versions of the Worker Adjustment and Retraining Notification Act. The filing also notes that one plaintiff did not receive any severance pay. And just when you think it cannot get any worse as far as internally and what's going on with the company, it was reported that multiple senior level executives in charge of security, privacy, and safety and integrity have all resigned from Twitter. So fired and brought back. You're not fired, but you can't work from home anymore, or basically you're fired. And then a whole bunch of people resigning. These are some of the senior executives that pretty much walked out. Chief Compliance Officer, Chief Information Security Officer, Global Head of Safety and Integrity, Chief Privacy Officer. The words that were included in those titles should be alarming, like privacy, head of safety, information. It's alarming, and it's showing that it's alarming because it's being reported that now because those people have resigned and because Twitter is showing just how like unbalanced everything is right now. It seems it's giving off that if someone wanted to do something, because keep in mind, you do put in your information in these apps, and now if you are paying for this subscription, you're putting in financial information into this app. If someone wanted to, how easy would it be to get your hand on this information? It's reported that cybersecurity experts fear users and the public will soon suffer the consequences due to the new security risks. Between the rollouts of the checkmark policy and all of these security staff members leaving, it leaves Twitter open to a new risk of security that could soon ramify into the public sphere, according to top cyber experts and those who've overseen cybersecurity at other companies. The concern is that Twitter's ability to fend off these threats is heading out the door with its security. I mean, if you think about it, it makes sense. And then, if you are seeing this stuff being reported, why would you then want to go subscribe? Because who knows what's going to happen a month from now when it comes to Twitter. Okay, so looking at it on the outside as a consumer, the blue check marks, the people who want the blue check marks, even though they might not have a reason to want the blue check marks. Looking at it like, okay, it's looking a little unorganized. It's looking a little, you're just kind of throwing anything and going with whatever sticks to the wall. On the inside, it's looking like, is there any control over it? Does anyone fully understand what they're doing with the decisions that they're making between the layoffs and the hiring backs and not knowing? You gotta work in person, in all that stuff, and people walking out, why are they walking out? And then the safety on top of that, you know who else that's going to shy away? advertisers. Now, from the advertiser standpoint, if you see all that going on, why would you then want to go pay the company and be like, yeah, I'm gonna give you this millions of dollars so I can advertise on your site? And I don't understand where the future of your site is going, right? Not just that, but remember the whole like people buying stuff to impersonate other companies. So not only is it like shying advertisers away, but companies that are already on the app, it is going to shy them away from wanting to be a company on the app, because anyone can just go ahead and buy a badge, impersonate me, and then cost me millions. You want to hear an example of how a company was cost millions? So Eli Lilly, or Eli Lilly, it's a pharmaceutical company. I guess they're responsible for insulin and whatnot. Well, someone, again, when people are bored, someone, again, this person I'm not that mad at, but they purchased the badge for verification, right? And then they changed the profile picture and their username so that they would appear to be Eli Lilly. And they had tweeted out, I'll have it pop up here somewhere, but they had tweeted something to the effect of saying insulin is now free, right? Baby, just off that one tweet. The second that Eli Lilly's investors and stuff like that saw that insulin was now going to be free, it tanked their stock. One of the most viral examples was a verified Eli Lilly account that tweeted insulin is free now, which forced the real Eli Lilly to apologize for the misleading tweet because its insulin is in fact not free. So their stock dipped 4.37% Friday, erasing over $15 billion in market cap after that tweet was sent out. It cost them $15 billion because a random person paid $8 to impersonate them. And for however long the tweet was up, maybe 30 minutes the tweet was up, and their investors thought that their insulin was now going to be free, they lost $15 billion. Now, this is not the point of the video, but I feel like a conversation needs to be had there at just how quickly it dropped and how much they lost at the idea of insulin being free. But that's a conversation for another video. Now, do I feel bad for the company is another question. But as a company, do you see why you might not want to stay on an app where it's that easy for you to lose money? And as a company who might want to invest by paying to advertise on the app, do you see why? Because at the end of the day, all of these corporations, they are going to stick together, okay? They are going to, if this is not a good look for this billion-dollar company, it's probably not going to be a good look for me being a billion-dollar company as well. So many advertisers have started pulling money out. So Chipotle, my bad y'all, my camera cut off, but it's reported that Chipotle is pulling down ads on Twitter until the company has a better understanding of the new environment on the platform. United Airlines decided to suspend its ads on Twitter. The NAACP president Derek Johnson called for all companies to pull ads from Twitter, tweeting, "It is highly destructive to our democracy for any advertiser to fund a platform that fuels hate speech." I'll tell you why. That was probably tweeted out. The Wall Street Journal reported that General Mills, Pfizer, Audi, Volkswagen, and Mondelez International Inc., the maker of Oreos, stopped advertising on Twitter after Musk took over the company. Automakers Ford and General Motors told Forbes they will not be buying ad space on Twitter until they better understand the platform's future. Not companies that you want to be pulling out. Not advertisers that you want weary of how you're running the company, that they don't want to do business with you, right? But to go back to why the president of the NAACP tweeted that, now keep in mind, it was reported that, one of the things he wanted to bring to Twitter was free speech and all of that. It was reported that the use of the N-word on Twitter jumped up by almost 500% after Elon Musk's takeover, as trolls test limits on free speech. 500%. Now, if you use Twitter, you know that trolls were testing the limits before he had took over. I mean, you might have a better chance at reporting them, which I've pretty much had every racial slur thrown at me on Twitter. I want to say out of the times I've actually reported their accounts, maybe a good half of them, maybe actually had some type of consequence for that, right? That was before he took over. After that, the use of the N-word went up 500%. So that is why the NAACP president tweeted that out. But yeah, it's not looking good. It's really not. Like I said, every day you wake up and it is something new being reported. I saw something being reported today. Actually, let me see what it was. I woke up today and it was Elon Musk's lawyer has sought to reassure Twitter employees they won't go to jail if the company is found in violation of a Federal Trade Commission decree that outlines steps Twitter must take to protect users' personal data. And as you can see, it's just not getting better. You are turning off advertisers from wanting to be on your platform and from wanting to advertise on your platform. You are turning off, you know, the other big dogs, which are, you know, celebrities, entertainment worlds, which does play a big role in, you know, keeping people on social media. And you're turning off the everyday consumers because I mean, I kid you not, especially Black Twitter right now. I see a bunch of viral tweets like, so where are we going after, you know, Twitter dies? Are we going to Tumblr? Are we going to try to make Instagram work? And if Instagram was smart, now would be the time to give people back chronological order and relax with all the reels and putting like random people on people's timeline. If your competitor is going through it, if you have an easy fix that can bring people back to your app, this would be the time to do that, but that's for another video. People are saying, so what's gonna be the next app? Are we all finally gonna go download TikTok? I see viral tweets of like, so what are we going to wear to Twitter's funeral? If the consumer is, the morale is down amongst employees, amongst advertisers, amongst the people that you need to keep to stay on the app, where do you go from here? You know, the point of these videos is like, I'm supposed to be like, okay, so is there a possible comeback? Is there a, I really don't. See, I really don't know where this is going to go for them because it's not like the other apps where it's just like, it's an algorithm change or, you know, stuff like that. And it's like, you're either gonna get used to it or you're just gonna stop using the app, stuff like that. Like I have just gone through so much that it's giving jumbled in my head right now. I don't even know where to focus on because there's just so much going on. Like I said, the employees filing a class action lawsuit, the advertisers, and again, at the end of the day, all of this is happening in the couple weeks that he's been the owner of the company now. And this is still something that is worth $8 billion that he paid $44 billion for. It's giving erratic because he's doing so much to try to recoup his money that is also giving what is he not willing to do to try to get his money back. Because at this point it's giving he'll do anything. And if you'll do anything, what could possibly happen next? And when you don't know what's going to happen next, that's when things get scary. And that is also why these people are probably pulling out like this and people are shying away from it. But I don't see myself saying this is what your comeback could be. I don't see it. I really don't. I really don't know where I see the future of Twitter going, but I don't know if I could say I see it going in a good way. So that is it for this video. 4 other things have probably happened when it comes to Twitter since I sat down to film this video, and I'm sure we'll all hear about it somewhere on social media. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this, what has become of Twitter, because like I said, beginning of the year, I definitely didn't see this coming. Let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know if you plan to stay on there. If you are moving to another app, where you're going. Let me know all of that down below. Make sure to thumbs up, comment, subscribe, turn notification bells down below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.